When you're creating Figma spacing variables, you might be asking questions like, should I use 28 or 32 pixels? What should I name these? Or how many variables do I need? Instead of spending hours just going through trial and error, let's dive into the insights distilled from researching top design systems like these. This is the Airtable spreadsheet that we're going to use to reference throughout the video. To build this, I cross-referenced data from the available documentation and Figma community files for 43 systems and extracted data points for 611 spacing units. There's a ton of systems out there, so I used designsystemsforfigma.com to find the best ones. With this data, I'll go over insights around naming conventions, rem values, and pixel values. Alrighty, so let's get started with naming conventions. So what are some ways to approach naming? I found that all these names could be categorized into 6 approaches, starting with t-shirt sizing, numerical order, value multiplier, pixel values, directional, and scale. The most common approach was t-shirt sizing. 14 out of 43, or 33.33% of references were using this. This naming approach organizes size by words like small, medium, large, and extra large. The first structure contains a prefix, then the word space or spacing, followed by a t-shirt size at the end. The prefix tends to be either the system's name or an abbreviation of it. You can see an example of this with AWS Amplify. The prefix is amplify, followed by the word space, and then a t-shirt size like small, medium, or large. The second structure contains the word space or spacing, followed by a t-shirt size. You can see an example of this with the Kuiper design system. They use the word spacing followed by the t-shirt size like small, medium, or large. I also observed that there are slight variations with the way that these systems write out the t-shirt sizes. Some systems use abbreviations like S, M, L, XL like this. Other systems use full words like this. My last observation was that in the context of a spacing scale, they would name the base unit as the medium size. The second most used approach was numerical order. 10 out of 43, or 23.81% of the references were using this. This naming approach uses a sequence of numbers to organize the spacing increments from the smallest all the way up to the largest sizes, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Here are some examples of this. When we look at carbon, you can see the names are spacing 01, spacing 02, spacing 03, and so on. For decathlon, they use spacing 1, spacing 2, spacing 3. For Finestra, they use FDS spacing 1, FDS spacing 2, FDS spacing 3. And if we look at Twilio Paste, they use space 10, space 20, space 30, and so on. The third most used approach was value multiplier. 7 out of 43 systems, or 16.67% of the references, were using this. This approach starts with defining a base unit like 4 or 8 pixels. Then you create a spacing scale with the base unit, and then you name all the values inside the scale based on a calculation relative to the base unit. This may be confusing, so let's take a closer look at a great example like Atlassian. They defined their base unit as 8 pixels. They then created a scale with the values ranging from 0 to 80, using the base unit. Lastly, they named the values in the scale with the word space, followed by a multiple of the base unit. Let's break it down one step further. If we look at space.100, the 100 represents 100% of the base unit, which is 8 pixels. If we look at space.200, the 200 represents 200% of the base unit, which is 16 pixels. If we look at space.300, it represents 300% of the base unit, which is 24 pixels. If we look at space.050, it represents 50% of the base unit, which is 4 pixels. You can basically think of this as a formula that helps you calculate the pixel values. Let's take another closer look at an example like Shopify Polaris. We start by looking for their base unit or the value multiplier of 1. For this system, the base unit is 4 pixels. If we look at P space 1, the 1 represents 1 times the base unit, which is 4 pixels. If we look at P space 2, the 2 represents 2 times the base unit, which is 8 pixels. If we look at p space 3, it represents 3 times the base unit, which is 12 pixels. If we look at p space 05, the 05 represents 0.5 times the base unit, which is 2 pixels. One observation you might have noticed already is that the value multiplier is written out like a percentage or decimal form. For Atlassian, they use 3 digits to write out the multipliers as percentages, like 050 representing 50% or 100 representing 100%. For examples like Shopify Polaris and Intergalactic, they write out the value multipliers in decimal form 05 representing 0.5, and so on. Now, the least used approach was pixel values. 2 out of 43, or 4.76% of the references were using this. This approach names spacing increments based on the actual pixel values. For example, if we look at the Liquid design system, you can see space 8 is 8 pixels and space 16 is 16 pixels. The directional and scale approaches were used in combination with the other ones that we just covered. The directional approach was used in combination with 5 out of 43, or 11.90% of the references. This combination approach groups spacing values by horizontal or vertical directions. For example, if we look at Elastic UI, the naming structure combines a direction with the t-shirt size, like horizontal x small, vertical x small. For Twilio Paste, they combine a direction with the numerical order structure, like horizontal space 10, vertical space 10, and so on. The scale approach was used in combination with 4 out of 43 systems, or 9.52%. This combination approach splits the spacing values into groups based on scaling for various breakpoints or various device sizes. If we look at Salesforce Lightning Design System, they split the spacing based on constant and variable values. It's also combined with a direction and a t-shirt size. If we look at gov.uk, they break it down by static and responsive values, and they also combine it with a numerical order. If we look at the Friday design system, they group the names based on extra small and small screens, or extra large, large, and medium screens. And it's also combined with levels that follow a numerical order. Now that we went over the naming approaches, you might be asking yourself, is there a relationship between the number of spacing units and the approaches? Or how many spacing units should I use? I calculated the average number of spacing units per naming convention. And this is what I found. T-shirt sizing had an average of 8, numerical order had an average of 9, scale had an average of 9.5, directional had an average of 10.4, pixel units had an average of 13, value multiplier had an average of 21. Since the averages in the middle were so close, I only looked at the smallest and then the largest values to make the following assumptions. I assume that t-shirt sizing is used when there's not as many values within the scale, because the common sizes that we're familiar with tend to be extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, 2 extra large, which is around 6 sizes. My second assumption is that the value multiplier naming is used when there's a high number of values within the scale, since the name isn't bound to any familiar conventions and it relies more on a calculation. When we look at these examples, you can see that each of them have a lot of values within their spacing scale. As I was reviewing the documentation, I frequently saw the rem values being listed on there. I didn't fully understand this, to be honest, so I asked ChatGPT about it. Here's what it said. Rem stands for root M. It's a flexible way to measure things on a website. The size of one rem is decided by the font size of the root element of the page. So if the root font size is 16 pixels, then 1 rem equals 16 pixels. So what were the most common pixel values for 1 rem? When I filtered the Airtable data, I found that 100% of 1 rem values were 16 pixels. But why is it 16? Here's what ChatGPT said. The 16 pixel value, often associated with rem units, isn't something inherently tied to rem itself, but rather it's a common default font size in many web browsers. Therefore, when we use rem units, they're often calculated based on the 16 pixel default size. What are the common rem values? If you look at this bar chart, the x-axis represents the rem values, and the y-axis represents the amount of instances a value is used. If we use this as a cutoff, the most common rem values are 0, 0.125, 0.25, 0.375, 0.5, 0.75, 1, 1.25, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Is there a relationship between the common rem values? Now that we know what the common values are, I wanted to see if there's a relationship between them and to see if they follow a certain scale. I found this awesome site called Proportio.App, where you can visually test different UI proportion scales by adjusting the base, scale, and then the other parameters. There wasn't one scale that matches 100% of the Airtable data. However, the closest one was octave. I assume that this is the case because most UI systems tend to follow the 8-pixel grid. So what are the common pixel values? Let's take a look at this bar chart right here. The x-axis represents the pixel values and the y-axis represents the amount of instances per value. If we use this as a cutoff, the most common pixel values are 0, 2, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 32, 40, 48, 64, 80, 96, and 128. I noticed a few interesting insights from this. So 0 and 2 were used more often than I thought, but it makes sense since 2 pixels is used more for the smaller spaces inside or between the components. Another thing I noticed was that the smaller values in the scale tend to fall within the multiples of 4, but once it passes 24, it jumps to multiples of 8. It also looks like 28, 36, and 56 are often skipped. My assumption is that the higher values are used for layout spacing, and that there's more visual contrast between using 24 and 32 pixels versus 24 and 28. Plus, I feel that it reduces the amount of in-between values, which reduces the amount of decisions to consider when you're designing. For the larger values like 80, 96, and 128 pixels, I found them useful for creating the larger layout margins or padding. So that wraps up all the insights. Once you test and then you fine-tune your spacing variables, you can publish them locally on your current file. But if you or your team needs to use these variables across multiple files, check out Figma's professional plan. With this plan, you can publish your variables in your team library, and then you can sync it up with as many files as you need. Plus, if you're new to Figma, you can get started for free using my affiliate link in the description below. If you found this video helpful, I'll greatly appreciate it if you tap that like button so that it reaches more people. Also, if you want to access the Airtable that I use for my video, you can join the waitlist in the description below. This will contain data for other primitives like typography, color, and more. See you in the next one.